LED technology has been with us since the early 2000s and has since then been the most efficient way of producing light. However, LEDs need to have their current and their temperature properly controlled to ensure that we get the long lifetimes that they are capable of giving us. So to control the temperature, the entire light design comes into play. A little bit of the driver, but mostly the entire housing and the way in which the heat is extracted from the LEDs. The driver controls the current, and the driver is one of the most prevalent points of failure of LED lights. In actual fact, our research shows that we're seeing between 60 and 70% of LED lights fail due to driver failure. And this has been documented widely in research all over the world. So the driver that's being used for LED lights is typically a PWM driver. There's this PWM part of the circuit, but PWM circuits have got two inherent drawbacks. The one is they've got a poor power factor, and the second is that they operate at very high switching frequencies, which translates into Wi-Fi interference and into radio frequency interference. So to mitigate that, PWM drivers typically have got a low pass filter on the back end and a power factor circuit on the front end. This makes then for a very complex circuit, and you've got on the circuit 1, 2, 3 electrolytic capacitors, which is prone to failing, especially when operated at slightly elevated temperatures. This is very similar to fluorescent drivers and fluorescent ballasts, which we all know has got a high failure rate. So at OrbitX, we have decided to replace a PWM circuit with our integrated circuit, a chip-based driver, which is significantly less complex and inherently has got a unity power factor and operates at very low switching frequencies, which means there's no risk of Wi-Fi interference or radio frequency interference. That means our circuit doesn't have all of the additional complexities of additional electronic components, but it also makes use of electronic components such as this chip that is extremely reliable, similar to the long lifetimes that you get out of cell phones, laptop computers, and motor vehicles, which all makes use of integrated circuits.